Hello, everyone. Yes, we are getting ready to have our book club discussion with the Mother Dreamer movement. And we have Vickie L. Evans here with us tonight to continue the discussion of knowing your worth. How are you, Vickie?
I am doing so well today. It's a good day. It's a good day to
Uh,
be alive.
a good day to be alive. Yes.
Yes.
And you know what? Speaking of which, I'm grateful to be alive because I believe that God just has more work for me to do. All of us know that one day we're going to transition from this earth, and that's just inevitable. That's a given. All of us are going to have
Yes.
a birth date and a death date. And I believe, though, too, that whatever we do in that dash that's in between is what we'll be remembered for, you know?
Yes, absolutely. But the main thing is to be excited about life. I'm so excited about life in this time period. I don't know what it is about this time period, but I can almost pinch myself because I'm like, I just feel so good, you know?
I understand. I can actually relate. There are some times that I'm like, I'm happy about, oh my gosh, this is like bubbling with excitement. And then there are times that I'm like, this got on my nerves today. This aggravated me, whatever. It's moments. So I'm on different roller coaster rides, but I think God has just given me the ability to be able to have like this understanding that no matter what comes and no matter what goes, that if God is for me, then
Who can be against me?
I knew you were gonna finish it, Vickie L. Evans over there. If God is for me, who can be
Who
against
can
me?
be against me?
So I consider all of you for me, even though I know you may not all be for me. It's okay, because who could be against me, right?
Right.
Listen, everybody that's coming into the discussion today, go ahead and tag your friends and invite people. We're talking about knowing your worth, how to overcome that dragon of low self esteem. And Vickie, I know, and you've already taken us through some portions of the book, but if you can, maybe just a brief recap of what we've discussed so far to lead into what we're going to be talking about tonight.
We've talked about so much in this on this journey. We talked about how we evolve from one place to the other, how we deal with challenges as we are evolving. We talked about being optimistic, and to really tell you, I think that chapter, it did something for me,
Yes.
just about changing your outlook of how you look at things.
Yes.
What crowd are you a part of? Are you a part of the optimistic crew, or are you a part of the pessimistic uh,
Pessimistic. Right. I know what you're saying over there.
crew? Which crew are you a part of? I mean, are you here to bring sunshine and light and encouragement? Or are you a part of that crew that's always seeing the negative side of things, don't have anything positive to say?
Right.
And, we talked about optimism. Sometimes, you have good days, you have sad days. It doesn't mean that you're just, this bubbly person all the
No.
time. But your mindset is, even in the storm, even in the valley, this too will pass. It won't
Yes.
last always.
Well,
And so,
so some things don't feel like they'll pass, though. I want to interject
and
that.
some things don't feel like they will pass, but they pass.
They do.
And sometimes they don't pass the way you desire, but you have to admit that our survival rate right now is 100% because we're still here. We're
Yes.
still surviving. We're still overcoming. We're still going through. So we still have a 100% survivor rate. And
Yes.
so we could truly say that,
Yes.
it
That's true.
doesn't always pan out the way that we desire. If that is the case, I would still be married.
Hmm.
Things don't always turn out the way that we want them to turn out. However, there is a bright side somewhere.
Yes. There
Yes.
is a bright side, and depending upon if you are viewing it from an optimistic perspective or from a pessimistic perspective, and you gave a lot of different examples. So, over the course of time, just go back and look at those videos that Vickie already shared some deep insight from the book Know Your Worth. and you can get a copy of her book, an autographed copy of her book, by going where? Let them know where they can get the book.
You can get an autographed copy of my book if you go on my beautiful website. And my website is VickieLEvans.com. I try to keep it simple for you. It's just my name, VickieLEvans.com. And there is a book page there. You can click on it. You can send me a payment via PayPal. And if you're in the Charlotte, North Carolina and surrounding areas, I will deliver your book to you. So look, listen to that deal. You get special delivery if you live in the area. And if not, I will mail it to you. But at any rate, it will be autographed by me with a special message from me to you.
That's good. Very good. So, as we are talking tonight, we're going to be talking about going just a step further and talking from the perspective of I only eat filet mignon.
Absolutely. And I want to, before we get into the book, thank those, especially those who have been listening or watching the replay, because I see the numbers of how many of you have been watching the replay, and it makes my heart glad that you are watching and observing and taking advantage of this opportunity, because I'm excited. I'm a busy woman. I'm always juggling. I got 2 festivals that I'm doing right now. One, actually, the semifinals are this Saturday, and then I have another one in June, and then I have something going on in September. So I am a busy woman. So for me to take this time out to spend this time with you, that means that is very, very special. It's very special. So I am so glad that you are enjoying it. I'm glad that you are watching the replay afterwards. And I thank you for those who are joining us diligently as we go on this journey. It means a lot to me. So thanks.
And just so you know, if the reason that we're even doing this is because we have a mother dreamer movement, and the mother dreamers are moms, or not only physical mothers, but there are mothers that are also birthing dreams and goals and visions that may not have physical children, but they're still a mother dreamer in their own regard. Some people are mother figures to people, some have adopted people, but you name it, there are mothers that are raising productive children and raising great kids, but they still have their own goals and dreams that are being put on the back burner, and they're not able to really pursue those dreams effectively. So we've formed a group where we all come together, we're encouraging each other, we're building each other up, we're doing book club discussions each month. And this month, we're talking about knowing your worth. I think that's foundational. If
Yes.
you don't know your worth, then you can't really know how you're going to be able to help anybody else.
Right. And see, you're investing in your personal development. That is very, very important. And you have a group here of women who are doing the same thing, investing in their personal, development. So I'm just going to say, you guys need to join this group. You will be an asset to them, and they will be an asset to you. So come on, be a part of the Mother Dreamer movement. We all are mothers in some way. And I'm going to say it from this aspect. Mothers are nurturers.
Yes.
We all are nurturing something, even if we're nurturing a dream or nurturing some other person or nurturing an idea, whatever you're doing. Why don't you join other women who are doing the same thing, and you can glean from one another.
You really can. It's some good information.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, okay. So if you're just chiming in, make sure you let us know who you are. I see quite a few of you coming in. Let us know who you are, what you hope to learn, maybe a point that you've already learned if you've been going along this journey with us. And if you have any questions throughout tonight's discussion, go ahead and pop it in the comments section, and we'll pop that comment up. I'll also put this link in the comments section. You can copy and paste it into the browser, and it'll bring you right into this broadcast. So if you're interested in just coming on screen and asking your question, use that. I'll see you right backstage and pop you on the screen. All right. So, Vickie, as the author of Know Your Worth, is going to read some of this chapter to us. And we're going to take some breaks and have some interaction. So, let's get started.
I want to ask the question
Yeah,
before I start.
please.
We talked about optimism versus, hi, Brenda.
Hey, Brenda.
We talked about optimism versus pessimism last week, and we're going to build on that today because I want to ask the question, do you really know who you are? Do you really? And so I gave this analogy during one of our sessions about my Uncle Charles.
Okay.
Uncle Charles, yeah, I talked about Uncle Charles, that he used to tell me, hi, Brenda Buckner. Hi,
Hey, Brenda. How
Brenda.
are you?
Yes. So
All of
glad to,
Brenda's in the house. Hey.
absolutely. Brenda is my friend from Virginia. My first professional play, A Change Is Gonna Come, that I wrote. Even
Oh,
as I was writing it, I shared it with Brenda on the journey. And Brenda turned out to be one of my characters, the abuse character. And so, yeah, me and her, we go way, 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 way back.
aw.
So
Glad to have you,
glad
Brenda.
to have her. So, anyway, back to the question,
Okay.
do you know who you are? And we're talking about Uncle Charles. So, my Uncle Charles used to tell me that I was his favorite niece.
Right.
He used to tell me that. And so I bought into that idea that I was his favorite niece.
Right.
Now, my Uncle Charles passed away a couple of years ago, and us cousins got together and we were just talking. And my cousin Aura said, well, Uncle Charles, I'm Uncle Charles' favorite niece. He would tell me that all the time, that I'm his favorite niece. And so
Right.
we all looked at each other and we said, well, Uncle Charles told me the same thing, that
What?
I was his favorite. And so Uncle Charles had told all of us that we were his favorite niece. Now,
Interesting.
yes. And so that's why I asked the question, do you know who you are? I have this shirt on today because we're going to talk about I only eat filet mignon. And I don't know if you can see it. It says, I am God's favorite. And so just like we were Uncle Charles' favorite, he wasn't lying. Even as he said, we were his favorite. We are God's favorite.
Yes,
Each
we
and
are.
every one of us can be God's favorite,
Yeah.
And so that's what this chapter is about. I only eat filet mignon. What does that mean?
Well,
That means that go ahead, Kim. What
you
does
go.
that
You
mean?
go.
No, you go. You go.
Okay, because I was going to say, do we really believe that God can have us all be his favorite? Because I think before you go into the chapter, that is an important mindset to understand that do we really believe that God can love all of us and really care for all of us and care about all of us? Or do we really think that he does have respect of person and only certain people are going to excel? Because that changes how you feel about yourself.
Right. And until you have that personal relationship with God to get to know him, I had a personal relationship with Uncle Charles. I knew his characteristics. He knew my characteristics. And the only way that I was able to do that was by spending time with him. So through his actions, he made me feel like I was his favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with us, spending time with God and getting to know his characteristics, getting to know that he is love, getting to know that he is joy, getting to know that he is a waymaker, getting to know that he is a provider, getting to know all those things about him that will allow you to understand that you only you in fact you are filet mignon. That's the best. You're only the best because you were made by the best, you were blessed by the best, everything. So if you are a king's kid and you're sitting, you're living in the palace, you're eating in the palace, and everything in the palace you have access to.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing here. Same thing. You have access to the very best.
Yes. And Brenda said, my grandma used to tell me God carries my picture in his wallet.
Oh, yes, he does, honey. He carries it in his wallet. He carries you in his heart. I mean, that's how special you are. And not only that, the Bible says he knows you by name.
By name.
By name. How special is that? If he knows you, and we're talking about a God that has a big universe, yet he cares about the specific things about us.
That's
And
right.
he knows us by name. And so that's an awesome thing to know. That's the thing that I want you to understand. And if I have to say it over and over and over again, know your worth. Know your worth. Know your worth. Know your worth. It's important that you know your worth. So when you are faced with challenges, so when you are faced with life-altering situations, you will understand that there is a solution. And sometimes solutions don't come overnight. You got to go through the process.
Nope.
You got to go through it. And sometimes it don't feel good going through the process. It just doesn't. It didn't feel good for me when I had a cold or the flu. And the doctor that I used to go to, he gave a shot for everything. For every time. Every time you go to the doctor's office, you're going to get a penicillin shot.
Oh,
that
Lord.
Shot,
no, it's like, really?
I'm telling you the truth, Kim. Every time. I don't
like,
care.
Well, what is it first before you just give me some penicillin?
Listen, he going to listen to what your symptoms are. But know that when you leave that office, you're going to have a penicillin shot.
That's hilarious. That's
and
ridiculous.
that shot,
what?
I'm telling you, whether it was a cold, honey, if you broke an arm, he gonna still give you a penicillin shot, whatever it is. So
that's why you say he used to be your doctor, right?
Well, I was a little girl, and so that was the only doctor in town in Sugar Land.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, it was two. Dr. Kirkendall. I forgot the other one. They worked in the same office.
Okay.
So you was going to see one or the other. They still going to give you a shot.
They're going to give you your penicillin shot.
Yes.
Well, see, you got to be remembered for something in life. So you remember that office just for the penicillin shot. They're going to give you a solution. They're like, right, we're going to feel the need because we're going to give you a solution, a penicillin shot.
When Mama said we're going to have to go to the doctor, I already start feeling that butterfly in my stomach because I knew I was going to get a shot.
That's hilarious.
But my point to it is that shot doesn't feel good. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when we're going through processes and challenges and trauma, it doesn't feel good. Right. But after a while, you start to feel better. You feel better. That shot, you're like, oh, Lord, that hurt. But then you start to feel better. Right. So I wanted to say that my sisters say that we are loved, valued, and valuable. That is awesome. We are. But the thing is here, you got to know it because so many times people allow their experiences, their challenges, their hurts, their disappointments, and all of those things to kind of overshadow their worth or to determine their worth. If God loved me, he wouldn't allow me to go through this. Right.
And we don't know what God is actually shielding us from, because even though as devastating as the situation may be, or it looks like it is, you really could be, or I feel like, I can only speak for myself, I feel like there are instances where God was actually protecting me from something that could have been significantly worse. And I could have been more blindsided than what actually happened. So it's like, well, thank you, Lord, that you allowed me to at least still be here with my children, because it could be a whole different ball game. You're like, well, la, 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 la. And then you get bumped. You're like, I didn't even know this existed. So you cannot prepare for something that you don't even know is going on. But yet God knows all things, like you say. He knows all things. So he's actually protecting us and keeping us safe, even in the midst of trials and tribulations that we don't even know that we're in.
Right. He's all knowing and all seeing. He is such a powerful God. He knows the very number of hairs on our head. That's real special,
You better
you know,
believe it. You
to
better
know
believe it.
that. So I only eat filet mignon. So let's talk about what is that? What does that mean? Where did I get this concept from? Because that's a strange title to have in a book
Yeah.
about knowing your worth. Where's the beef? Where'd you get that from? So I want to talk about that. Why did I do this? And the name of this chapter is I Only Eat Filet Mignon, Simply the Best. So I'm going to start reading. And please, you guys, feel free to chime in. Feel free to ask questions. We are here as a family to discuss this because it is my goal and my desire that you know your worth, you know your purpose, you understand who you are, that you feel better after this session than you did before you came on. So that's my goal for you. So let's read.
Let's
If
read.
you
Go ahead.
if you have the book, we're starting on page 73. That's where this chapter starts. If you don't have this book, then listen intently to what I'm about to read. Okay? I was born and lived most of my teenage years in the great and fabulous state of Texas. Yes, I'm a Texan. Although notable for many things, one being America's greatest football team. Y'all don't want to hear about that. So, but that's my team, the Dallas Cowboys. It is also famous for our Texas beef. As you know, there are many varieties of beef. There's T-bone, prime rib, porterhouse, and of course, the filet mignon. There is nothing like a plump, juicy cut of steak smothered in onions, mushroom, and gravy, complemented with a fully loaded baked potato with sour cream, cheddar, and chives. I'm making you hungry.
Yes.
And a tossed salad with ranch or blue cheese. These are all the things that I like. So, ladies, I want to ask you a question. Do you remember a time when you have ordered a steak, but when you took a bite, it was tough? Do you remember? Have you ever had?
People.
Say that again.
I said most people have had that experience, but
Right.
put a 1 in the comments if you've ever had a tough piece of steak. It looked perfect, but it was tough when you cut into it and kind of disappointed you. Put a 1 in the comments. Somebody said yes, definitely.
I like that you said that. It looked good, right? On the outside, it looked juicy. It looked moist. It looked all of those things. But when you cut into it and took your first bite, it was so tough. And there is nothing worse than tough steak. It's chewy, it's like rubber, right? And I want to say this. So I want to use this steak as an analogy. Some of us have had and have eaten some tough steak in our lives. These experiences were extremely hard to digest and gave many of us heartburn, correct?
Yep.
The pains of life have burnt our hearts so that we can't love or live with the same passion we used to know. For some of us, we've experienced heartbreak and breakups, and all of these things have weighed down on our spirit. I listened today to, I believe her name is Lauren London, who was in the relationship with Nipsey. Yeah. She said, I don't believe I'm ever going to get in a relationship again because my ego, she had a really different analogy, but she said, I see things differently after the death of my boyfriend. I see
Mhm.
something different. And so I say that to say that we have had experiences, we've had relationships that have changed our perspective of what our life could be. Divorce changed me. It changed me tremendously because there was a tearing away of the perception, because I had the perception of life after, love forever, and
Forever,
happily ever
forever.
after, and me and my husband, we gonna do this and do that. I mean, I even had plans for our retirement,
Of
but
course.
things don't always happen that way, and
Mhm.
it changed my perception of love. It did. You know what it caused me to do?
What?
It caused me to take one day at a time, for real.
Wow. Okay.
It caused me, because in an instant things could change. So it caused me to learn to enjoy life every day and deal with things every day. So it did. So I call that tough state,
Mm,
tough steak. These experiences were extremely hard to digest and gave many of us heartburn.
mm.
Okay, the dragon of low the dragon of low esteem launched a plan of attack against us while we were children,
Yeah.
causing, I use a term here, I call it mental rape.
Mm,
Mental rape. What is that?
mm.
To siege and force your mind into a state of worthlessness,
Yes. Worthlessness. Yes.
worthlessness, to feel all these experiences told you, okay, so I'm not worth it anymore because I've gone through this. At one point I was even discouraged, and I also was challenging my worth as a woman because I was going through divorce.
Wow.
So yeah, I was challenging that. I felt like it was something that I did. Aren't we quick to blame ourselves when things don't go well? We say, so it must be something that I did to cause him to cheat.
No, I say I don't.
Ne-
I actually don't believe
Thank
that.
you. That's what I'm getting ready to say. When it's that's
I'm
on
like, I did not
him.
make you do nothing.
I didn't make you cheat.
You do.
That was
You do
on
you.
you. But many women, Kim, I'm going to tell you, I've heard them say that. I've heard them say, well, what did I do? Maybe I was not the woman that I should have been. Maybe there's no. Let me tell you, you're not responsible. Me and my girlfriend was talking about that today. You're not responsible for another person's will.
No.
Each one of us have our own will. And if he chooses to do something, you can't look at it as a lack on your purpose, or you can't look at, well, you. And sometimes people use that, or men. If you were taking care of home, I've heard other women say that about women.
Oh, I've
Well,
heard
if
it.
she was taking care of home, then
He
she
wouldn't have
wouldn't
left.
have this
I heard all of
problem.
that. Yeah, I've
All of
heard
that.
all of that, and
Yeah.
I've heard men, some men, not a lot, not because I don't know that many that would say whatever, but I do know that I've heard people say, even men that are in these situations, say, "Well, you know what? It's because this person didn't do this for me that it made me do this," and I'm like, I don't
Uh-uh.
agree with that.
I don't
So
agree with that either, sis.
that's not what I agree with at all. I think you
So
do
this
what
is
you
what
choose
I
to do.
said. You were violated. You were. You were victimized. You were abused. You were misused. All of this is tough steak, okay?
Mhm.
You were degraded. You were broken. You were defiled and infringed upon by people whom you trusted.
Right.
Tough steak, all right? Some of you were violated by mentally deranged family members who crossed the line
Mm.
and broke the family covenant, labeled as molestation.
Yeah.
I deal with all of these. Some of you were affected by poor relationship choices of a loved one.
Mm.
Can somebody understand? Tough steak. Okay. Some of you were products of your environment, underprivileged, drug ridden, and gang banging neighborhoods. and were manipulated and forced to make undesirable choices for survival's sake. I have a cousin, I want to say this. Um, One day he came home with, he was a young man, he came home and his nose was broken.
Mm.
And so we asked him, what happened to you? He said because he refused to join a gang, that the leader of the gang had them to beat him up and break his nose. And
Dang.
so sometimes some people are forced into choices that they don't want to make because of the environment that they're in. And I
Yeah.
wanted to make that point.
Yeah.
Yes.
And anybody else that you want to make a point as well throughout this evening's discussion, please put it in the comment section or feel free to click on that link that I put in the comment section and you can come on to the show as well. And while you're getting ready to read the next point, I want to let people know that we're talking with Vickie L. Evans. She's the author of Know Your Worth. That's the book that we're talking from, which is a book that she's written. She's written 4, well, she's a contributing author to 1, and she's written 3 books, other books as well. And she has a story to share. Knowing Your Worth is what we're talking about today. If you don't have a copy of that book, I want you to know how you can get it. You can go to VickieLEvans.com and get a copy of this book, Know Your Worth. We're reading from page 79. I only eat filet mignon right now. That's what we're reading from. Go ahead, Vickie.
Okay, so, and I can't see your comments, Kim, see the comments for some reason. So if there's something I need to address, just let me know.
Okay, I sure will.
So whatever the case, it has been tough steak, which inadvertently has caused some deeply embedded scars and wounds that form thick, callous layers of mistrust. You have erected walls of defense that are very difficult to penetrate. Okay. So now let's talk about what is filet mignon and why did I use that? Okay. So filet is considered to be the tenderest cut of beef
Yes.
and one of the most expensive. If you could you put that picture up of
I
how
have it right
wonderful
here.
this looks? Look at that. It is the tenderest cut of beef and one of the most expensive. And I want you to relate to yourself as being exactly that, the most expensive, okay? One of the characteristics of filet mignon is that the muscle is non-weight bearing.
Mm.
And so here I reference a scripture. It says, lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us, which is found in Hebrews chapter 12. Okay. The word beset in this scripture is defined as to attack from all sides, to trouble persistently, to harass, to hem in. Now, I want to ask you a question. How many of you can relate to feeling hemmed in or enduring multiple and simultaneous attacks? How many?
I can raise my hand. I'm sure I see quite a few hands coming up and
Yeah.
comments, but I can raise mine for sure. Let's see.
Did
Brenda.
anybody answer your question? What
Yes.
is the tough stake in your life?
Yes. Brenda said, growing up in an alcoholic home
Was
was
her
tough
tough?
steak. It caused me to be distrustful. Wow.
Absolutely. And so so many times people turn into sedatives, I call it.
Yeah.
Sedatives like alcohol to kind of numb the situations that they are experiencing, the tough stake that they are experiencing in their lives. And so because they are unhappy with themselves,
Right.
then that residue, it travels and it sometimes it leaves dust and
Yeah.
ashes on other people's life.
That's
You
right.
know, those who are attached to them, those who are in the family. And
Yeah.
I do want to say that sometimes we're going through situations that's not ours. It wasn't caused by us. It's by association. The people that we are associated with are going through situations that sometimes transfer or affect us.
Affect us. Yes.
It affects us because we live in that house or we're in a relationship with them, and the residue of what they're going through begins to show up on us.
That's correct. You
There's
every
no way you're gonna be in a fire and not get the residue of that fire on you, whether it's smoke or some kind of thing. It's gonna transfer on to you,
That's right.
right?
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
So Brenda's being in that home, in that alcoholic home, it has some serious effects on her.
That's right.
And cause her to have tough steak as well. So Brenda, thank you for sharing that. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
And Justine Hilliard, Lady Justine Hilliard said that steak looks so good.
Yeah.
Tough or
And
not, she like that steak look good.
and yeah, it looked good, but sometimes we get a hold of some tough steak
Right.
that looks good. And there's a saying, everything that glitters is not gold. Everything that looks good is not good for you all the time. So it's so important that we know our purpose and our worth. And when we encounter those situations, right, being able to discern and to know, I'm worth more than this. I don't want to be a part of this. This is not for me.
Yeah, but that's when you come into the knowledge of the truth, then that's when you need to walk therein. Because for me anyway, I only can speak for Kim. Some things that when you're not aware of what's happening is one thing, but when you become aware of it, then it's like, wait, what? Then I need to be getting away from this wholeheartedly because this is not if reflective of who I am as a person. And that's important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we can all agree that we've had some baggage in life, right?
Yes.
We've all experienced challenges and trauma and different things that have caused us to have some tough stakes in our lives. Now, I love this commercial. It doesn't come on anymore, and I make a reference to this commercial in this book.
Okay.
It was Mary J. Blige, and she was carrying a whole bunch of baggage, and it showed different stages of her life where she was carrying all this baggage. It's a Chevrolet commercial, and then at the end of that commercial, she left all the baggage on the curb, and so they made a statement in this commercial. The space to take everything with you, the wisdom to leave the baggage behind. The space to take everything with you. You can take it all, but you got the wisdom to know the stuff that you don't want to take with you. I'm going to leave this behind. I'm going to leave disappointment behind. I'm not going to allow disappointment to guide me for the rest of my life. I'm not going to let hurt that I've experienced in my divorce to guide me for the rest of my life so that I cannot enter into a healthy relationship. I'm going to learn from these lessons that I've gone through. I'm going to learn the lesson, and then I'm going to move on to the blessing.
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
Blessing on the other side of this lesson.
That's right. And I agree with that.
Absolutely. There is Filet Mignon. It's available for you.
Yeah.
The best. God desires the best for you. If you don't know that, I'm here to tell you, because I've gone through some tough, rough situations, some tough steaks where I thought, well, at some point, I even talk about that I thought it wasn't even worth it to stay on this earth. That's my testimony, my journey, where I got to the point that the steak was so tough that I said, God, I don't even want to be here. But just think, I would have aborted my purpose.
That's right.
And I would not have the opportunity to experience the filet mignon. I would not have. So let me tell you something. Once you have filet mignon, nothing else will satisfy you. Now that I know what the best looks like and what it tastes like, I've had one of the best steaks, and I was like, Lord, nothing compares to this. This is the best. Once you've had the best, you will not. Please listen to this statement that I'm about to make to you. Once you've had the best, you will not settle for less.
That's right. That's right.
You will not settle for less than your worth. And so many times the enemy comes along and he tries to sell us less. And we'll grab onto it because it looks like, well, ain't nothing else coming along. I mean, this, so I might as well settle for this. I might as well take this. You know,
Mm.
even in relationship, well, ain't no other man here, so I guess I'll just take this one. You're worth more than that. You're worth,
Oh my
and
goodness.
I always related to relationships because I've had that's my journey.
Hmm.
I've had situations in relationship because I did not know my worth. It wasn't on them. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's
Right.
because I did not know my worth that led me on the journey to be in these relationships with people who their purpose, they were just who they were. They were manipulators before I came along. Okay.
Wow. Hmm.
But I didn't know my worth, so I attached myself to them, and then that led me to a downward spiral. So I just wanted to say that filet mignon is the most expensive piece of steak. It's the most tenderest, but it's you. That's you. That's who you are, and you deserve the best.
Yeah.
So I need to know just by a show of hands or one, two, how many of you know that you deserve the best?
If you believe that you deserve the best, type I believe I deserve the best. And put that in the comment. Put a proclamation out there that you really do believe that you truly do deserve the best. And I'm a big believer as well that I don't think somebody else should be held accountable for how someone else may have handled you or treated you. So not every person that you encounter in the future may be at all similar to the situation or the person that may have done harm to you. So be mindful of that too when you're going through relationship issues and you're like trying to determine, what do I do? Do I hold that person accountable when they didn't have anything to do with what you went through? So give them a clean slate, whoever it is that you're going to end up being with. All right. So I believe I deserve the best, Brenda said. And Justine said as well, I believe that I deserve the best. Yes.
And I think too, so many times, and we're talking about mother dreamers because we are mothers, a lot of us, and we are nurturers. We are designed to give the best or to look out for others.
Yes.
And many times we put others above us. We put
A lot
our
of times.
children above us. We put all of that. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't love our family, our children, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing that I do want to say, you should also love yourself.
That's right. In
You should
addition to
all
loving your children, in addition to
right.
loving others and nurturing others, care about you
You have
and
to
your best
care
interest.
about you. So
Yeah.
self-love is so important here.
Mhm.
You know, you need to love yourself and you need to treat yourself. Treat yourself to the best. Let me tell y'all something. This is where I am right now. Some of you may not do this because I have a friend. She said, I don't like to eat by myself. It doesn't
Girl.
even bother me. Honey, I'll go
That's
to the
right.
best restaurant, sit down there, order my food, treat myself. If there's somewhere I want to go, me and my friend Brenda, I don't know if she's still out here, Brenda Buckner, we was talking about this today. She said, girl, you will get up and you'll go wherever you want to go by yourself. Vickie, where are you? She used to say she's going to call me Waldo. Where are you today? Because if there's somewhere I want to go, I don't wait.
Brenda said, yes, she will. She
I
will
don't.
definitely do that.
Right.
You know what? Then that's why I probably love you so much, because I can speak personally that I never for about 50 years of my, well, from the age of 18 to about 50, I literally did not go places by myself. That's not what I did. I was with my husband and always with him in every aspect of my life, whether it was when we were dating or then when we got married. So I never went to the movies like talk. I don't think I had ever really gone to a movie by myself.
Wow.
I went to the
Wow.
movies with him. I went to restaurants. I traveled,
Wow.
all of these things. Even when I traveled for my job, I would bring my mom or my mother-in-law to help me while I nursed my children and go to work. And then I would come back to the room and
Wow.
nurse. So I've always had people with me. So when I had to start doing this on my own, changing the oil in the car or whatever, it was actually a compliment to being married and having someone that would do those things for me. I appreciate that. And that's honorable. I'm grateful for that. But when I had to actually start doing that for myself, I was like,
Mhm.
what day does this do? What? You gotta go, what? Get in that line. And I was like, what? I mean, so it was overwhelming to me to
Yes.
actually have to really do these things for myself completely with nobody else doing it. Mail that sticker in and get the, all of
Yes.
the stuff that I guess everybody had been doing. I wasn't doing that stuff. Other people
Right.
like Frank was doing that. So I was like, wait, what? But now I do it all by myself. I go eat. I'll go to any movie I want to see. If my mom wants to go or my children want to go with me, great.
Right.
If not, I will go eat a bucket of popcorn and enjoy that movie just like I'm at the best date of my life.
Right. And so I always, this is my saying lately. I enjoy my own company so much. I just
Yes,
love my own company. There's no other person besides the Lord that I'd rather be with than me.
that's
I
true.
love
Me
being
too.
with
I
me.
love my own. I love my own company. And I know that
Right.
my company is great for whoever is going to be the person that I'll have some companionship with in the future. So who knows? You know?
Yeah. So I love being with me. And that's where I'm trying to take you guys. That's where I'm trying to take you. You have to love being with you.
Yes.
And you have to treat yourself like you're filet mignon.
Hmm.
You have to. Come on. I want everybody on here to say, I am filet mignon.
Well, I would say I am salmon because I love salmon.
But I just want you to grasp the concept of what filet mignon is.
I know I'm just
Compared
being
to
silly.
all other steaks, it's the best, it's the most tender, it's the most expensive. So you're filet mignon. You're the best. That's the concept I want you to grasp. Out of all those steaks, it is considered, according to those who have tried it and according to the stats, it is the best.
Yeah.
So I want you to look at yourself from that vantage point. You are the best. And the only person that can prove that and believe that is you. You're the only person that can rise up to that. It's you. And because you are that, and I gave you guys the testimony, I guess, a couple of weeks ago about me going to Atlanta, treating myself going to Atlanta to the strength of the woman, right? And I get there and I bought my ticket months before. And, let me tell you something. Somebody said this last week too. I want to address that. Sometimes the hookup ain't really a hookup.
That's right. You talked about that.
Sometimes the hookup is not always the hookup. Sometimes we want to get the less expensive, whatever. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't try to get deals sometimes, honey, I'll be trying to get deals all the time, but make sure it's worth it. Make
Right.
sure you're not getting a deal that's not even worth who you are. You get home, I've ordered stuff from catalogs and they don't look like the picture, it
Oh,
don't even
girl.
look like what I order. It's
Right.
cheap. I can't wear this. So don't treat yourself like that. Don't always look for the hookup. So I went to Atlanta and I got this ticket because it was $35. And I said, "Ooh, this is cheap." I just thought it because it was early bird. I thought I was getting, but it was way up there in the rafters, right?
Mhm.
Now, let me tell you something. I thought about this the other day too. If that's all you can afford, Okay, so that's for you. I am not knocking that.
That's
But
right.
why do you settle for less when it is you can afford more? So
Hmm.
anyway, my point was that I got what I paid for, but then I didn't have to settle for that.
That's
You
right.
understand what I mean? Sometimes you don't have to settle for the things that are thrown your way.
I
You
agree.
don't. And so I didn't have to settle because I decided, my mind, optimistic, that I wasn't going to sit there. I'm not
Mm.
going to sit there. I want to upgrade. How many of you want to upgrade? I want to upgrade. The only way you can get an upgrade, first of all, you got to upgrade in your mind, right? Upgrade your thinking. I wanted an upgrade. I didn't want to be in the place that I was,
That's right.
and I didn't want to settle for that. So I went to the box office. Yes, ma'am, I want to upgrade. So I went to the box office and I was blessed because I was persistent. I was like, I'm not going back up there. I had my mind made up, and I
Right.
was blessed with a ticket that was like right there near the stage.
Yes.
Make up in your mind. Make up in your mind that I'm not gonna settle for where I am, and it really is your choice.
It really
I
is.
only want filet mignon. There's an airline that I like to fly on because I like it. Okay. And I'm going to say, I love Delta. When I fly on Delta, I just feel, I was like, okay, I get to my destination when I want to. The flight attendants are so nice. I love it. Now, I'm saying this to say, sometimes you got to be particular about what you want
That's
and
right.
make that choice. Now, I'm not knocking anybody else that wants to fly on anything less, but I don't want to fly because I've experienced that. I'm not going on Spirit. Okay, I'm not doing that because the reason that I use Spirit is this. So you say, well, this is cheaper, so I'm going to go on Spirit. But then you got to pay. When you find out, you got to, okay, so they quoted you this price, but you got to pay for the seat, you got to pay for this, and you got all these additional things you got to pay for. And then in the end, you don't pay the same amount that you would have spent if you had went on Delta. So why not just go on the airline that you want? My point to this is be particular. Okay. God
Mhm.
says we are a peculiar
A
people. I want to
peculiar
say
people.
that right now.
Right.
Be that person that is dare to be different,
Yes.
that is dare to stand out in the crowd. Be that person. Okay.
That's
Be
it.
that person that oozes with love. And people know that you love yourself because how you treat yourself.
That's right. And people know that you love them because of how you treat other people too. So
Right.
people can pick up on the love that you have sincerely for yourself and for others. So be mindful of that. And I see that you say you are filet mignon, Lady Justine Hilliard as well. And I'm glad that you know your worth. You know your worth. We're talking with Vickie L. Evans. She is the author of Know Your Worth. If you don't have a copy of that book yet, make sure you reach out to her, and you can do that right at VickieLEvans.com. Get your copy, an autographed copy of the book. And if you're in the Charlotte and surrounding areas, she'll meet you with your copy. And also make sure, if you're not a part of the Mother Dreamer movement right now, make sure you go to motherdreamer.com/join and join in with other women that are mothers, and we have goals and dreams that we're looking to accomplish. All right. Carry on.
So I want to say this, and I said this last week. I'm not trying to push a particular platform, a particular religion. I'm not trying to do any of that. I just can tell you from my perspective what my life
That's right.
looks like, right? And all I can say is that I feel special because of the relationship and choice that I've made as far as following my God. I feel special. I feel privileged. I feel peculiar. I feel all those things. I have not always felt that way. But now I have come to the knowledge of who I am and whose I am. And I found it, for me, it was journeying through this book, finding, going back to my childhood and putting a pause, like putting a paper clip right there,
Mhm.
dealing with those situations that had caused me hurt and pain and caused me to feel like I had low self esteem. I had to go back
Mm.
and deal with those situations. And it brought me up to where I am now so that I can truly say to you, I am filet mignon.
Yeah.
And not only I am filet mignon, I only accept the best for me. And I learned that through life experiences by making choices that were less than what God had in store for me.
Mm.
Making those choices, I'm not, I know some people might say, well, you're happy about that. I'm glad of the lessons that I've learned through
Right.
those choices. I'm glad about it because of those lessons, I can sit here and tell you that I only accept the best for me.
That's
Okay.
right.
And each one of you can make that determination of what the best for you looks like.
Right.
What does that look like for you? Whatever it is, it's filet mignon. Okay.
That's
I
good.
only eat filet mignon. You can make choices. You decide that you want porterhouse or whatever steak, T-bone. But for me, it's filet mignon. I only want the best. And so I say to you tonight, know your worth.
Yes.
Know your worth. And if you're in a state that you're in a state of low self-esteem, overcoming the dragon of low self-esteem, if there's something that has caused you that is weight bearing, that's weighing down on you, causing you to feel less than what you are made or designed to be, because God designed you to be the best. You
That's
say,
right.
why are there mean people in the world if that's the case? Because they made a choice that they did not want to be who God designed them to be.
That's right.
Because God, it says in Genesis that everything he made was good.
Yes.
Am I quoting it right?
Yes.
When he
Everything.
made man, he said very good. Okay.
Very, very good. Yeah.
Very good. So that's what God made you, but he gave us free will
Free
and
will.
free choice
Mhm.
to decide, well, I'm gonna go over here and do this over here. That's your choice.
That's
Okay.
right.
So that's all I have. I
That
just
was plenty to have
right.
and
I
very
just want people.
insightful. So, how
Yeah.
many of us know that there are all kinds of seasonings that you can put on filet mignon? People really love that particular steak because it goes with so many different things and marinades and you name it. It just is like top notch in the whole steak world. So people really live by that whole filet mignon experience. So when we looked at some of the pictures and saw
Oh
the
my God, that looks good.
cut of the meat
Oh,
and
look at that one.
but I love the analogy. Now, whether it's again, like I said, for me, it's salmon. I'm a salmon lover, so I love a great piece of salmon. I love pizza. I like some nice pasta and different things. Whatever it is for you, as far as the analogy that was used tonight, whatever it is, make sure it's the best and that
Yes.
you're offering it the best, meaning this thing called life, and that you're only accepting the best. And things that try to make you be less than who you were created to be by forcing you to not value yourself. Do you recommend getting rid of those things? You're the author. Talk to us. Do you think that you get rid of those things?
What the things,
The
say
things
that
that make you
again.
feel less than who God created you to be.
You can walk away from it. I mean, you say, okay, let's say it this way. I don't want to say get rid of them, because if you're in a marriage and you're
Right.
with a person, so it's not easy to just say I'm just gonna get rid of them. Or I'm gonna
Yeah,
walk
even if you're
away.
divorced and you have children, like I know
Right.
I have 4 on this earth and 5 total children with the same man, okay?
Right.
So you cannot I cannot not talk to Frank. I cannot not interact with Frank. I have to be able to communicate and deal with him pertaining to our children, you know?
So I wouldn't say get rid. So let me say it this way: the change starts and begins with you.
Yes.
this person here. I used to want to be in a relationship because I said, I need somebody to take care of me. I need somebody to help me with my bills. I need somebody. And now I'm at the point when I realize it's you need to take care of you.
Take care of
You need to
myself. And
celebrate you. You need to love you. You need to be a whole person. You don't want to enter into a relationship broken. You
right,
know, that means you're broken when you're looking for someone else to take care of you or to make you feel good about you. You're broken. So the next relationship that I get into, I want to be whole. Let me tell you something else that I did. When I came to North Carolina, my credit was jacked. I had so many things that were broken. And now I've worked on my credit. I did all of that to make Vickie a better person. So
right,
the next relationship I go into, this man don't have to inherit my problems.
right.
What sense
That's
is
good.
that made? How is that benefiting him to be with a woman that he has to inherit her problems?
That's good.
So
That's great.
I want to be whole. I want to come to a relationship or whatever I'm going into. When I walk in a room now, I used to have this shy complex. Oh Lord, I don't know who in there. I'm scared. I don't know what I'm going to do. Who's in, who is this? I mean, they better. No, no, no. When I walk in a room now, I bring the light with me. I'm serious. I
Oh,
don't
I
walk
know.
in a room intimidated. I do not. I'm
Mm.
filet mignon. I don't walk in a room intimidated because I feel like I belong here. I belong in this room right here. I don't care what your position is, what your rank is. I don't care.
I
I
agree.
belong here because I think you said it best last week. I don't feel like I'm better than anyone and no one is better than me.
No.
Okay?
Yeah.
No.
I'm not
No
better
one
than
is
anyone,
better.
and
No,
nobody's better
no.
than me.
No one's better than me. And I don't feel like I'm better. But the thing is, I've made some choices that has positioned me where I am right now. And
Yes.
you could do the same thing. I'm a best-selling author because I wrote books and I took the time. It took some time for me to write this book.
You better believe it. You know
I
how many
put some
pages? There's
work
a
into
rack of
this. I
pages.
put some thought into this, right? So yes, I'm filet mignon. I work for this. I
Yes.
wrote plays and I've traveled and I work for this. So if I work to be the best, I'm only accepting the best.
That's
I
good.
only eat filet mignon. And until you understand that about yourself, that you walk in places, I walk in the light, I bring the light with me. Yes, you need to understand that.
I love it. I love it. You can't say it any better than what you've already said. So you are filet mignon. You
Yes.
like filet mignon. You only accept filet mignon. That's what you offer is filet mignon. So this chapter tonight was all about filet mignon as
And
the
knowing your
illustration,
worth, knowing
knowing
your
your
purpose.
worth.
The whole book is about knowing your worth
The
and not
whole book.
settling for less. Many of you have settled for the $10,000 deal when God had a million just waiting for you. But because you accepted the $10,000 deal, you negated the million.
Mm.
Why? Know your worth. I'm worth more than this.
So if you are going to walk differently tomorrow morning when you wake up, right? And you start your new day with God's grace and mercy, are you going to walk with a different air, a different aura about you? Are you really going to walk into the room commanding the presence that God created you to have? And the filet mignon that you might even eat some filet mignon tomorrow. Who knows what's going to happen? But are you prepared for, yes, the $1,000,000? Somebody said the
I
million
love what
dollars.
Catrice, I love what you're saying. I love
I'm
what you're
ready.
saying. Because let me tell you, even in what you're saying right now, let me tell you, Steve Jobs, all those people who have a million, that didn't happen overnight, right?
That's
They
right.
went through some hills, some valleys. They went through some things in order to get there. But it didn't mean that they were not filet mignon.
Right.
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 So, and even tomorrow, if you experience challenges and problems, oh, she said I was filet mignon, but look at me today. Listen, listen. We said this earlier, I think a few weeks ago. Obstacles are a part of life.
Yes.
Challenges are a part of life. You're going to even experience some things that may feel, and I'm going to say may feel like failure,
Right.
but it doesn't make you a
It
failure.
doesn't make you a failure. It's
No.
as a roaring lion does not mean that that it is the lion. It's just
Right.
as.
So you have to change your mindset. And yes, it is that simple. People say it's not that simple. She's glorifying things.
Mhm.
Yes, it is that simple. I have a vision in front of me of where I'm going, and I am determined to make it there. I'm not going to
Yeah.
stop. Yes, the enemy, he's going to throw all kinds of things to cloud my vision. He's going to send illusions. He's going to do all of that to try to stop me. We talked about the theory of delay and the theory of distractions in one of these chapters. He's
Yeah.
going to try to do all of that. But you have to be the person that says, no matter what it looks like, my vision is clear.
That's right.
I'm going to the other side,
That's
and
right.
I deserve only the best.
Only
Yes,
filet
I
mignon.
fail. The Bible says you may do that 7 times. You may fall 7 times, but you got to get up on that 8th one, whatever it is, and say, I'm dusting myself off. Even the 7 times, get up, dust yourself to number 1. Get up, dust yourself out. Number 2, get up, dust yourself out. But the thing is, you need to keep getting up.
That's right. That's
Keep
right.
getting up. Keep getting up. Yes, Miss Catrice, keep pushing, keep believing. Yet know that you deserve better. Okay, so I picked the wrong guy this time. I did. Oh, I've been married twice. I picked the wrong one this time. But guess what? I'm not a failure. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna keep on moving. He's somewhere. And even if I don't get what if I never get married again, one thing that I know for sure, first of all, I've experienced love in my life. Love is all around me. I am love. God is love.
Yes.
I know what love looks like
Oh,
now.
absolutely.
I know that. And so the first person that I have to love is myself. I got to love me.
That's right.
So when you love you, even if you fall a couple times, you get back up. And like our mom used to tell us, you hurt your knee. She said, oh, it's all right. What is that they used to mercure con, whatever that is, they used to put on your knee, the little red stuff.
Iodine.
They put it on your knee and
The
they said,
iodine.
you all right, baby, and put a little bandage on it and send you back out. That's what
Yeah, it's
you
called iodine.
It's iodine, but they used to call it something mercure cone or
Oh, I don't know.
mercure cone or something. But it is the same thing.
Right,
So
right.
Dave, look, just put a little on your knee and put a little bandage and keep going.
That's
But there
right.
is $1 million waiting for you, and if you settle for the 10,000, okay, so you're gonna get 10,000. It's not that you're not going to be blessed with the 10,000, but why settle for the 10 when you could get $1 million?
Yes.
I'm just saying.
I'm quite motivated from tonight's discussion, and I think that we have learned quite a bit about just I only eat filet mignon. And
Only.
only. Make sure you grab a copy of Vickie L. Evans' book, Know Your Worth. We're going to pick up next week, continuing our discussion, and what chapter is coming up so people will know.
I don't know which one you want, Kim.
Yeah.
You picked this one right here. This was good.
Yeah. Okay. So what we'll do is have your book. This is going to be a cliffhanger. How about that? You have your book ready, and on next week, when we get together, we will direct you as to which page we're going to start on, and we can read together and continue on this journey of knowing our worth. Okay. We're going to know our worth by the time we get done with this book. This author, Vickie L. Evans, is invested in making sure that we understand the importance of knowing our worth. Know your worth and overcome that dragon of low self-esteem. She's teaching us how to do that by going on this journey with us as the author of Know Your Worth. All right.
So
Vickie?
whoever is still on here, I'm going to do one of Kim's methods. If you have been inspired tonight, put a 1 in the chat. If you have been inspired tonight, put a 1 in. All right. Put a 1 in the chat that I have been inspired tonight. And so that means that you feel more loved, you feel better about yourself, you understand what you're worth, and that you don't have to settle for the tough steak, that you can have filet mignon. That's what I want you to know tonight. Yes, you can have filet mignon. It's available to you, right? It's available to you. Change your mindset. Know that you're worth more than you even give yourself credit for.
That's right.
Love yourself. Embrace. In fact, do this for me. I can't see you, but embrace yourself. Just your own self. I just love me. Embrace yourself. And as my shirt say, know that I am God's favorite. I am.
I'm God's favorite too. As Uncle Charlie said, we all God's favorite.
Yeah, that's what Uncle Charles say. He's like, yeah, you my favorite, you my favorite, you my favorite, you my favorite.
Listen, everybody, to tomorrow, make sure you're in your virtual seats. I have someone coming on to talk about veteran mental health trauma. And so I have a U.S. Navy veteran that's going to be on talking to us about veteran health, mental health, because this is Mental Health Month. So he's going to be talking about mental health with veterans. And we have a great episodes lined up all week long for you all. So make sure that you be in your virtual seats and ready to go at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right on the Kim Jacobs Show. All right. Closing comment, Vickie?
Just thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, two Brendas. Thank you, Catrice. Thank you, my friend, Lady Hilliard. Thank you all for joining us tonight. It has been my esteem pleasure, to serve you tonight, to inspire you, to encourage you, to lift you up, to hopefully put some words of encouragement and wisdom in your portfolio so you understand that I don't have to settle for life's tough steak. I only eat filet mignon, and I know my worth. And on a daily basis, I am overcoming, if that's where you are, if you on a daily basis, overcoming the dragon of low self-esteem. Yes. I like that. I just love myself. Yes. Love yourself. You'll see me on social media. I'm out doing all kinds of things because I love me, and I don't wait for anyone to love me more than I love me. I don't.
You don't need to. You don't need to. Okay. Oh, hey, Lady Justine said, I like that. And I just love myself. She said, I love myself. Catrice says, thank you. Brenda put hearts. And I put in there too, if you all would like to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show, make sure you all subscribe right on our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to turn your notifications on, and you'll be in a virtual seat tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, everybody. Vickie, thank you so much for being here tonight, telling us the importance of knowing our worth and only eating filet mignon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I'll see you again next week, okay?
Okay.
All right, everybody. Have a great night. Bye-bye, everybody.